Hey, Jamie. Okay, go ahead. If you can do it, if you can do it quick, I can. Hey, Justin. Hey, Karen. Kelly's just on a phone call. She'll be here in a second. From DFW. Hey, Michael. Hello, Allison. Hello, Kara. Elizabeth. No, Tech plays Saturday, I think. Right? Oh crap. Yeah, Michael. I think Kelly needs to do that. We posted in our stories today that we were in our Instagram, but I haven't done anything on Facebook yet. New Orleans. Kelly bought a bunch of dresses today. We got to ask her about that. I didn't even get the full story on all that. What? You broke Karen? You broke your arm? How'd you do that? Are you okay? That's crazy. Elizabeth, yeah, they're in the final four. I thought the game was. There's not a game. No, tell me there's not a game tonight. I thought Kelly said there was one Saturday. I know. We're going to. I guess we'll probably talk about that. We're going to Fort Worth for Kelly's birthday. You know, her birthday's April 13th. So we'll be in Fort Worth for that Vanilla Ice concert. That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, the mushroom chips, Kara, were pretty good. We got to talk about that too. Talk about mushroom chips. They were, and I'm kind of skeptical on all that healthy stuff. I mean, I've been eating healthy, but all that, those healthy snacks, because I always think they're going to taste like crap. But those mushroom chips they're actually pretty decent. I guess because I haven't had a real potato chip in I can't remember how long. So it was kind of nice to have something like that. Just the crunchiness, I guess. Yeah, Julie, our schedule is whack this week because I mean it's good, but we're doing this podcast tonight, and this is for Thursday. Like our usual Thursday podcast, because tomorrow night we're recording a podcast at M Sculpt, which if you were poking around on social media, you might have seen Kelly and I talking about some stuff that had to do with M Sculpt, which is a new partner of ours, and they wanted us to come out and do a podcast at their location. So we're going to do that tomorrow night, and we're going to have another procedure done. So if we can get it to work, we'll be on. Oh, did I say March? Good God Almighty! I did. On the description, I put March 2nd. I'll go back and change it later, but I should have said April 2nd. But what was I trying to say? Oh, tomorrow we're going to do a podcast on location, and then if we can figure out a way to get my laptop set up so you can see us all, we'll video from there too. So, yeah, Chelsea, happy birthday. Kara getting her booty ready. That's what she's doing. That procedure is wild. It was really, really crazy. Yeah, I'll tell y'all about it here in just a little bit. But yeah, I just haven't. I don't know. My mind is just. I don't know what happened. I always forget things now. Like I forgot it's April, so I put March, whatever, March 2nd on the podcast title description. I don't know what my deal is. I think it's called getting old, I think is what the deal is. Let's see here. I think we're gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about, so I don't know that I'm gonna need this, but I'm trying to put together a bit here. You're not observant. No, Michael. So tomorrow's recording is actually it's like an extra edition. So it will go live Friday, and then Kelly and I will do we'll get back into our normal schedule, and then Sunday will be for Monday. So we're actually throwing in another podcast this week. So we have, depending on how you look at it, we're doing 4 in 7 days, or we're doing, 3 in 5 days, whatever. But the one tomorrow we're doing is like the bonus podcast. It's an extra podcast. And it won't be a big, don't think it's going to be a big infomercial. That's not what it's going to be. We're going to interview the nurse, the technician that is doing the M-scope procedure on us. And she's really, really interesting. I mean, she's got a lot of really cool inside information that I had no idea how this stuff worked. And it's really pretty cool. And so we're going to interview her, and we're going to have some other, podcast content. It's not going to just, we're not going to do a 1-hour commercial, although, we're going to talk a lot about cosmetic procedures and M-sculpt, and we'll be doing it from their location. So that's what that's all about. It's a good thing. I think y'all will really enjoy it. And, even if you don't do the procedure, it's still kind of fun to know about, like I've never understood how all that works. And, so we'll explain how that works and what we're doing. It's actually kind of fun. I don't want to spill all the beans because we got some funny stories to tell, but it makes you feel kind of strange while you're doing it. But it's pretty interesting. Yeah, there's so much I want to tell you, but we need to save some of it. Let's see. Simon LeBon is to Kelly like fill in the blank is to Alan. Meaning like that's her heartthrob or her musical expert, or not expert. I just looked at Kelly and it was like her musical idol, or what do you mean? That's right, Michael. I think we'll have a podcast co-host in here in a minute. If not, we'll just start it ourselves. Just kidding. Celebrity crush from back in the day. Okay. Celebrity crush from back. You know who it was? Now that you asked that question, it's funny that you asked that. Do y'all remember Debbie Gibson? Man, I had the biggest crush on Debbie Gibson when I was in junior high and high school. I guess it would be junior high school.
Daddy doesn't want you in here.
High school time. So
No,
it would be Debbie Gibson.
Daddy doesn't want you.
It's not that Daddy doesn't want you. But
Daddy doesn't want you in here.
Yeah, okay. Kelly's trying to poison the dog against me. Hey, Donna Dennis.
Did I say anything that wasn't true?
Well, I don't want him in here crawling on the table while we're doing a podcast. That is true.
Thank you.
Hey, look who is gracing us with her presence.
Get in here.
Look who decided to join
I'll
us.
just sit over here.
Look who decided to join us.
I was on a very important call. Scoot over. Podcast hog.
Podcast hog. I'm just a hog.
Hopefully
you got the chip?
Oh crap! It's in my purse. Look at Larry looking at us through the door.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. It's an hour of his life. He'll be okay. Yeah, actor life. That's right. I'm a serious actor. If you're an actor, you have to call yourself an actor.
Stay, baby.
Let's see here. Tell you what, Don the engineer wouldn't put up a treatment like this.
Hopefully people saw my Instagram because I told them we'd be here between 7:30 and 8.
Why'd you tell them that?
Because I thought we would be.
We're never on time. Why would you tell them? I mean, we're never on
I thought
time.
we would be. And then right at 8 o'clock, I got a phone call I had to take.
Yeah. They've come to expect that we can't keep a commitment.
It's a very important phone call.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one. Y'all, there's so much good stuff happening.
Oh!
I know there's a lot of bad crap in life. Crap happens. turn on the TV. It's just crap, crap, crap. There's good stuff happening too. And I'm really excited because it's all happening to me. And because it's happening to me, it means it's happening to us, babe. It's just fun stuff going on. It's just good. I'm excited. I can't say anything. That fun stuff's coming.
That's what I was telling them. I was telling them we got all kinds of fun
You didn't
stuff
say anything, did you?
No.
Okay, just making sure. Good fun stuff coming.
I mean, you're talking to freaking. I'm like a vault.
All right.
I'm like a vice grip.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? Get going.
Yeah. I don't know what we're talking about tonight. I got nothing. Actually, I got.
Why do you always say that?
Say what?
You always say you have nothing.
I got nothing.
That's not true.
Got very little. Here, hold on. See, isn't
Are
this?
you writing show content now? This is so bad.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go.
I'm so excited to tune in.
So excited. We are.
All right. How many
Hold
people are
on.
watching? All 63 of you.
Hey,
Hey, this isn't our usual night.
listen.
You know, it's not our usual night.
This is a podcast. This is on demand. They can watch the video live. They can watch it later. What's important is they're listening and watching.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So, hey,
It's just fun when y'all
people
here.
got a lot of stuff to do.
That's okay. Let's get started. There's probably a lot more people there, and now they're all gone because we never started the podcast. That hurt. Ready?
Sound check.
Test 1 2 1 2. Test 1 2.
Tara Nupsamass. Tara Nupsamass. Please pick up the red courtesy phone, Tara Nupsamass. Tara Nupsamass.
Nutsomass?
Tara Nupsamass.
I don't understand.
Tearing up some ass.
Oh, thanks. I thought you were saying nuts.
Tearing Nupsamass.
All right. We need some artwork.
I'm working on that. Don't worry. Hey, I got that covered. You let the chief branding officer figure that out.
Welcome to another episode of A Sandwich and Some Lovin'. I'm Kellie Rasberry Evans, but I am just one of your two hosts. I'm here with my husband.
Hello, I'm Alan.
He's the other host. And this is our podcast, A Sandwich and Some Lovin'. And thank you so much for being here with us.
Have I qualified as co-host? Do I have co-host status?
We're both co-hosts.
Or am I just some guy?
We're co-hosts together, honey.
Am I just some young guy?
You are welcome to take over the show introductions if you're not happy with my
No.
presentation.
I love your presentation.
Okay.
If we did it differently, it wouldn't be A Sandwich and Some Love.
That's right.
I mean, some things you gotta stick with.
Yeah.
The intro, the exit, everything else in between
It's just the filling.
is just the fillings, subject to interpretation, can be changed at any moment
Right.
and will be changed.
It's like, yeah, there you go. So we've got a lot to get to in today's podcast. There's been a lot going on in the world. Like I was just saying, not too terribly long ago, there is dark, ugly, awful news everywhere you turn, it seems like. But there's also so much good stuff going on in the world too, and we have to focus on that a lot. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the fun stuff and unfortunately some of the dark stuff that's happened. Just some tragic stuff that hopefully, Al and I were talking just last night about the girl, the University of South Carolina student who got into a car she thought was an Uber. And this was on Monday night we were talking about it, and Alan hadn't heard the news. So there are a lot of people that maybe still aren't familiar with that story, but there are lessons to be learned from what happened in that situation. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're also going to have some fun too, because Alan fell for not one, but 2 April Fool's jokes.
I did.
Two.
I did, and I couldn't believe I did it. I knew it was April 1st.
I warned everybody. I do not do April Fool's jokes. I'm not a prankster. I don't like pranks because what happens with pranks, there's retaliation for the pranks. And then you have to get even for that one. And then that one. And it goes back and forth. And there's never an ending.
I felt like such a doofenshmirtz. I mean, I
know.
knew it was April the 1st. The whole day I knew it was April.
Are you going to retaliate?
No, I'm not going to retaliate. I'm the idiot that believed
Yeah.
it.
I'm the best person to pull a prank on because I'm never retaliating. I'm over it because I want it to just stop. But anyway, some April Fool's jokes are harmless. Some of them are kind of funny when some major corporations do it. And we'll talk about a few of those pranks they tried to pull yesterday. People just forget it's April 1st and stuff happens.
Yeah, I didn't forget it was April 1st.
You just got duped.
I bit it hook, line, and sinker, took it.
And I also want to tell you about this podcast that I was so obsessed with. And I'm so devastated that it's over. And I want Alan to listen to it. And then I want us to go back and listen to it together. We'll get to that in a minute. Because Alan, I usually have a habit where every day, well, I used to, I would call Alan when I leave work. But the only thing I want to do when I get in my car now is put on this podcast, and I can't stop listening to it. Well, now I have to stop listening to it because it's over.
So the podcast has taken precedence over communicating with your husband.
I'm obsessed.
You're obsessed?
I'm obsessed. I was obsessed, and now it's over. We'll talk about that too. But we do have all that and more to get to. But first of all, we want to thank today one of our sponsors for being here and supporting us, Sandwiches of Lovin', one of the OGs.
This is one of the stalwarts.
One of the original gangsta podcast sponsors.
One of the pillars of our sponsorship community.
Which I actually just reached out to yesterday.
You placed an order.
I placed an order. Well, what happened was, I'm talking about FrameBridge.
FrameBridge.
FrameBridge.com.
Absolutely.
It's the best way to handle anything you need to have framed, whether it's photos that you have on your computer. You're like, what are these photos just doing on my computer? I need to have them framed beautifully and displayed around my house. FrameBridge can help you with that. Or if you have a piece of memorabilia, a christening gown, a baseball somebody caught, you just want to memorialize something.
A Metallica ticket.
And put it on display. FrameBridge can help you with that too. And this is what I needed FrameBridge's help with. I need to have something framed for a wedding gift. And it's a very special thing I need to have framed. So they're going to send, I went online and I told them what I needed, and they're going to send me special packaging just for my gift item that I need framed. I send it back and I'm like, I don't even know what to do. They're going to have their experts look at my item, and they're going to make suggestions to me, send me images showing what they recommend. And I could say, no, I don't like that. Try that. They work with you, and that service is free. That free design consultation service is free from framebridge.com. And the turnaround is quick. We go on and on about the presentation when you receive it. It's packaged so beautifully. There's a little handwritten note. And it's just the best way to frame. I can't imagine doing it any other way. Even if they stopped sponsoring us today, honey, I'd still use FrameBridge.
I mean, they won't stop sponsoring us because we give them their time. We give them their
that
time.
Much.
Absolutely. So get started today. Frame your photos or send the perfect gift for weddings, birthdays, and special events. Go to framebridge.com and use the promo code SANDWICH. You'll save an additional 15% off your first order. That's real money, babe. Mm-hmm. Go to framebridge.com, promo code SANDWICH. Framebridge.com, promo code SANDWICH.
All right, let's get started with the podcast.
FrameBridge.
All right, what do you want to start with first? Let's talk real quick before we get into the meat of our sandwich, otherwise known as our podcast, about the family vacation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have a family vacation planned. And when we say family vacation, we're talking about our podcast family.
The numbers are going up, up, up.
Numbers are going up.
We've been telling you, hey, deadline approaching to get your $50 deposit in so you can go with us to Mexico.
Checked in with Julie last night. She said, just had another one. I said Judy.
You said Julie.
No, I said Judy.
No, I sound like Julie. Go ahead.
Checked in with Julie last night. And
okay, now you really said Julie.
And she told us another person had signed up. She also wanted me to remind you of something.
Me personally, or our podcast?
This would be our podcast family. If you're considering going on this trip, please call Judy to book, because the reason we say that, not only is she going to get you the best price, not only is she going to give you the Kellie and Alan discount, she's also got some special stuff planned and some kind of fun giveaways and things, as do Kellie and I, for people who book through Judy.
Right.
Now, if you choose to be that black sheep of the family and you choose to call the hotel directly, hey, not a lot we can do about that.
No, we're very happy you're going to be there with us.
But if you do that, we can't guarantee that you will be able to participate in all these fun things we have
Little
going on.
extras.
Little extras.
And listen, it's not that you have to, Judy came up with the package that we have at kellyandalan.com.
You said Julie.
Vacation. I said Julie. I said Judy. I don't remember. Anyway, at kellyandalan.com/vacation. And, you can play with the dates on that trip. Just call Judy and she can help you figure out, because Alan and I are going Monday through Saturday. Maybe that doesn't work for your schedule. You need to go Tuesday through Friday, whatever. She can help you work around that. The airfare is on you, and Judy can also help you with the airfare as well. We do have some special things we want to do, and we're trying to keep track of how many people are going with us on this trip.
Yeah, because
if you book outside of
then we don't know who's going.
We have no way of knowing who's coming or how to. We want to do email correspondence, so we have a way to let you know.
Oh, we're gonna have an app.
Yeah, we're gonna have an app.
We're gonna have an app.
Well, we need to let people know this is what we're doing. This is what's going on. And if you're not in our pool of communication, we're not trying to jack up prices by going through Judy. This is actually just trying to help us keep things organized so we know how many people are going. At this point, we know of 20 couples who are going with us. 21 couples. We have no way of knowing.
And another 2 or 3 that have verbally confirmed that they're waiting to put down their deposits.
Yeah, but we don't know how many have booked outside of Judy.
I have no idea.
We have no way of knowing. So we're just trying to keep and plus this is going to help us decide what we're going to do moving forward, because we do want to make this an annual thing.
Hey, and
we're not trying to make a ton of money on it. We just want to hang out with you.
We're making a ton of money. We're not making any money.
And eventually we might make a ton of money.
And say Kelly and I wanted to give everybody a gift. Now, if you book outside of Judy, we
have no way to order you.
We have no way to. We can't communicate with you. We don't know how many and all that stuff.
So we've dwelt on this enough.
Yeah.
Let's just say this: if you have booked outside of Judy, how about just let us know, because we don't want anybody to be left out. We want to include everybody, and I don't want people to feel like, dang it, I'm still going because I want to hang out with you, but I didn't go through Judy. Let us know. Stop it, Neil. Stop it. That's enough. Either let Alan and me know at our email podcast@kellyandalan.com, or let Judy know. And all the information on the trip is at kellyandalan.com/vacation. That's enough of that. Okay, let's move on.
That was quite a PSA.
It was a lot.
It sounded like you were chewing the listener out.
I wasn't. I just want to make sure nobody's left out.
Why do you get so angry at the listener?
I'm not angry. You make me angry.
Babe!
Stop. You pick. Stop it.
I like to pick.
All right.
Speaking of picking, Kelly and I rolled into a Market Street parking place the other day to try to find these dang soft drinks I finally found at Walmart. And this guy, have you ever, you just pull into a parking place and you see somebody in the parking place across from you, and there's somebody sitting in the car? We didn't even really know he was there, but we pull in and he's got these dark shades on, and he's just sitting in the car by himself, and he has got his finger buried
all the way up,
up to the second knuckle.
It was all the way. It wasn't like a little itchy pick. It was
up his nose, and he was just freaking
going to town,
digging for gold.
And here's the problem: is we made eye contact,
right?
And he knows it, but now he's got to play it off,
right?
Like he wasn't digging up his nose,
right?
It was just really.
So then I started asking Kelly the question. I said, "Hey, we just busted him, so." He has got the foreign object now in his hand, which was, I guess, in his lap.
Yeah.
So what do you do at that point? What do you do?
I guess he just flicks it off on the floorboard.
In the car? Or do you?
Or waits till we leave and then he can do it out the window. I don't know.
I would roll it up and kind of take the stickiness off of it and then flick it out the window on someone's car.
Gross, Alan. The worst is being caught doing something that's embarrassing. It's not always.
Oh, yeah. What guy hasn't been caught doing something embarrassing? Let's be real.
Or women, you have a wedgie or something, and you come around. Somebody comes around a corner, or that horrible time. I rarely pass gas. I'm just not a gassy person. But that one time you got to, the one time, and you're like, I have been on this Target aisle for 17 minutes by myself perusing the dollar section, and nobody's come.
That means look. That means look.
I'm going to get away with it. The minute you do it, somebody comes barreling around the corner. The minute.
Oh yeah. Oh,
anyway.
that's the story of my life.
Right. Well, Mine is a much more rare occurrence.
Oh, whereas mine's like on the daily.
Yeah, some of us have issues.
I don't have issues anymore.
Well,
I don't have issues
when
anymore.
you stray and eat a little something you're not supposed to eat, you have a few issues. Alan took a lot of stuff out of his diet and he's reintroducing things. That's how you find out where your problem is. And he introduces something and he's in distress. We're like, got to take that back out.
Tonight I introduced a healthy carb back in. Wheat pasta. It wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, when you haven't had it forever.
Well, yeah.
That's how I started drinking Diet Pepsi. I was drinking so many Pepsis. I wanted to start drinking Diet. And so my mother, this was the wisdom of my mother, she said, drink Tab for a week. Do they still make Tab?
Oh, I don't know.
Tab was really big in the South.
Oh, my mom loved
A lot of people were very addicted to Tab.
Sure.
Tab was nasty. I could not, but I forced myself whenever I wanted a diet or Pepsi to go have a Tab. I never could drink a whole one. I'd drink a few sips and have to get rid of it. But at the end of that week, instead of going back to Pepsi, I went straight to Diet Pepsi, and it was like drinking a glass full of heaven. So that's how I started drinking diet drinks, by drinking Tab for a week.
Remember Big Red?
Yeah.
I used to drink Big Red.
They still make Big Red.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
Where would you go to buy Big Red? I mean, where do you go to get it?
They have it at
where?
Convenience stores and stuff. I bet I could find you one. I bet I could find it at the Dollar Tree.
What about Squirt?
They still make Squirt.
You know what my mom likes? She still buys. I don't know where they find it. Is RC Cola.
Yeah, they still make RC Cola. I used to drink as a child. That makes me gag to think about it, because there's a certain age where your taste buds change, and what you used to be able to drink nonstop suddenly is like, ugh, chocolate soldiers. You remember chocolate soldiers?
I don't remember
chocolate milk in a bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Super duper sweet.
Hey, and soft drink talk. So last podcast, we were talking how we couldn't find this new flavor of Coca-Cola called Orange Vanilla.
Coke Zero.
You
could find the regular, but the Coke Zero was hard.
We found 3 single bottles in a cooler somewhere. Mm-hmm. I bought 2, I guess. But then I was
polite and left one for some other poor soul who might be searching.
Yeah, but I was on a mission to find this stuff. And I had some podcast listeners. Shout out Karen from West Virginia. She goes online to Walmart.com.
Wow.
She searches the Walmarts in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
That's so nice.
Sends me screenshots and says, okay, they've got this many here, this many here, this many here.
They give quantities where they are?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think I used one of her screenshots, went to a Walmart 3-4 miles away from our house. It said they had 7 on the shelf. And I did an Instagram story when I'm walking in. I'm like, guys, it says Walmart has 7. I seriously doubt they're going to have 7. I walk in there, go to the soft drink aisle. How many cases of Coke do they have?
I saw your Instagram.
7.
7.
It was like, I cannot believe it.
I guess they have all the barcodes, and when they scan it, it takes it out of inventory. Right?
Those logistics people are genius.
Crazy?
Absolute genius. So I have 3 cases of this liquid gold now.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm always so hyped up, because a lot of caffeine. It's got a lot of caffeine, doesn't it? Does it have caffeine?
That's why you're burping a lot. I know that.
Burping a lot, but this is
Diet Coke makes me burp more than
it's not caffeine.
Yeah, it does. It's not decaf.
34 milligrams in 12 ounces. That's not a lot of caffeine.
No, it's not as much as coffee. But Diet Coke makes me burp more than Diet Pepsi. I don't know why. More bubbly or something. Anyway, I'm happy you found it, honey.
Thank you, babe.
Took all the pressure off of me because I couldn't find it.
Sorry I'm so annoying with all my belching and.
No, I'm not saying you're annoying. You just do it.
What do you say I do?
Lurch and heave and belch.
You make me sound like I'm just this.
Yeah, you're just a man.
I'm just this monster.
You're just a man. I'm in your man cave right now when we do the podcast. This is where most of the noises emanate.
Do you see this kind of gray cloud that floats about 6 feet off the ground?
Yeah, it's like, when there's been a bad flood and there's that line along the ceiling where the water line used to
not
be.
True.
It's kind of like that.
No,
it's like
not
there's
true.
This line along the ceiling, how high the smell rises.
Not true. It's a very clean, well-kept office. It's very well decorated. I have candles in here.
It's also, to cover up your stink.
I have a television set in here.
You do.
I have books.
Lots of things.
Yes. So it's a very nice place to podcast.
All right. So I have been neglecting communication with my husband recently because I found a podcast. We became very intrigued by real life crimes and these stories. You know, a lot of people have been on the bandwagon for that stuff way before we were. But we watched that Making a Murderer, right? That's where it started with Stephen Avery.
Stephen Avery.
And then we started seeking out.
He's still in jail, by the way.
Still in jail.
Or prison.
I just have faith that Zellner's going to get him out, right? Zellner?
Catherine
anyway,
Zellner.
It's been so long. They need to do another season. Anyway, so after that, we started seeking out other real life stuff. From that, I started looking at podcasts, and I listened to the Dirty John podcast. Really enjoyed that. Alan doesn't listen to those kind of podcasts. Do you?
I've been called a Dirty John before.
Do you listen to a lot of podcasts besides ours?
I really don't, man. I'm just not a big podcaster. I mean, I podcast for a living, but I don't listen to them.
Yeah, I do. I like to hear what other people are doing and say, they're way better than we are.
Hey, I get it.
We need to start copying some of that. Huh? That's what I do.
I get it through you.
But so I did the Dirty John podcast, and from that, people were recommending Dr. Death. And the thing about Dr. Death, okay, so Dirty John was about a man who was a, con artist. The dog.
Just keep plowing through it.
I didn't know what that was.
Plow through it.
The dog.
Plow through it, babe. Just plow through it.
I was just letting people know why I stopped. The dog is,
just plow through it. Keep plowing through it.
Okay. So Dr. Death is about a back surgeon who was a drug addict and a nightmare. And he was operating on people in Dallas, Texas, which is, we're a suburb of Dallas where we live. And he was killing people on the operating table and leaving them paralyzed in horrible situations. And it went on for a long time before he was stopped by other doctors. And I listened to the first, and people love that podcast. I listened to the first episode, and I really liked the first episode, but then it was kind of lost me. So I was a little hesitant.
Sound like me in my office.
But let me tell you about what I just finished listening to. And it was only 6 or 7. It was 7 episodes. I was so upset when it was over because I loved it so much. S-Town. It stands, and I'm going to say it because we're a podcast, and I say things on the podcast that I would not say on the Kid Craddock Morning Show. S-Town stands for Shit Town. It's called Shit Town.
Well, that's what I thought it would stand
Yes.
for. Yeah.
It is so good.
Is it?
It is so good. It's this guy who works for like NPR or something. Brian, what's his name? I had it written down. I wanted to give credit. Brian Reed. He narrates it. And he had this man reach out to him named John B. McLemore. And John B. McLemore is from Woodstock, Alabama. He is country. And it's almost like he's putting on, but you keep hearing him go on and on and on.
Like South Carolina country?
Like when I come back from being at home for a week.
Oh, where you need a translator.
Yes.
Okay.
He calls Brian, who's up in New York, and says, you need to come down here and investigate a murder because these rich people in town, it's the rich guy's kid. The police are all on this cover up because I live in Shit Town and da-da-da. And the guy gets intrigued and finally comes down to S-Town, to Woodstock, Alabama, and meets John. And then meets Tyler and meets his mother, Mary Grace, I think her name was, and all these characters. It is fascinating. And it's actually a couple of years old. So I'm really late to it's so old, in fact, that the podcast sponsors have been deleted. That's how old it is.
Good grief.
Yeah.
So they're not putting out any new stuff?
They'll say, we'll be back in a minute. And then he just picks up where the story left off because they've deleted the advertiser.
But they're not putting out any new stuff?
No, it's over.
Oh, okay. So it was just a series.
I don't know. Yeah, it was a series. It was 7 episodes. And I don't know if they're going to do any more because now it turns out that the people behind S-Town are being sued by the people in, I don't want to say who necessarily. Some people involved with this podcast are suing because they were saying that they didn't give the right to their story to be told, certain people in the podcast, but I can't tell you who's suing because then I'll give away what happens in the podcast. Fascinating. So if you have not listened to S-Town, listen to S-Town. It's really, really good. And I'm sad it's over. I've been Googling information about it. I've been looking at other interviews with the people involved in the story. So good. That's my recommendation of the week.
Okay. I probably won't check it out, but I'll take your word for it.
It's only 7 episodes.
I had lunch with, has to do with the podcast stuff you were just talking about. Had lunch with Boss Man George today and another business associate. And George was telling us, he had some statistics. He was kind of going through podcast stuff. And he said only 40% of people listen to podcasts. and only
And thank you to you who are listening to our podcast. You're among the 40%.
And he said only 70-something% of people have even heard of a podcast. Wow. So his point being, podcasting is still kind of in media. It's kind of on the tip of the spear, right? Mm-hmm. It's still pretty new. But he said once it crosses over the 50%, where over half of people listen to podcasts, then he said that's when things get really exciting and really grow fast and get big.
Well, I'm excited because I found something I really liked, and now I'm off to find my next podcast to listen to. I'm excited about that.
That's awesome.
But I wish you would just give it a try so we could do it together. Some couples have been taking road trips to Woodstock, Alabama. You can see they go on, you could follow the hashtags, and people go look for certain things from the podcast and take their pictures in front of it and stuff. That's a fun thing to do. My husband's not interested.
How do you know I'm not interested?
Because I can tell by the way you're looking.
I always look like this. I look like this when I am interested. No, I might check it out.
Okay, please do.
I might not, but
now, okay.
Yeah,
we're going to get on to a pretty serious subject.
Now, why are we doing this?
Because I think it's important. You hadn't heard about it, but I think this is something that
I don't know how I didn't hear about this.
I don't either. This is all over the news. Maybe I paid more close attention because I am from South Carolina, and this felt.
Was this on the national news?
Yes.
Gosh, everywhere. I don't see how I missed this.
I don't either. But this, well, first, before I get into that, because it's real heavy stuff, but it's also I've got some tips at the end, some safety tips that you can protect yourself if you ever have to. You're in the position where you need to take one of these ride shares, these Uber or Lyft apps. We'll get to that.
I have a safety tip.
We'll get to that in a moment. We'll include that in a minute. But really, a lot of people are so busy right now. We've been busy. We're late to do the podcast because we've got so much going on. And unfortunately, one of the things we kind of put off doing is going to the post office. Have you ever driven a package around in the backseat of your car for about a week?
Yes.
Because you just don't have time to go to the post office.
Absolutely. Done it a million times.
Yeah, or you try to squeeze it in on your lunch hour and you have to fight for a parking space.
That's a whoop.
People race you to the door,
right,
and then you have to stand in line, and then you don't even have time to grab a sandwich. Well, that's the beauty of Stamps.com. With Stamps.com, you can take care of everything you need to do at the post office you can do from your own home office. It's a brilliant thing for people who have small businesses.
Brilliant.
Because the mail, that is part of your blood of your business, right? The life's blood of your business. Well, with Stamps.com, you're also going to be saving money. You can get 5 cents off every first class stamp and up to 40% off priority mail. These are discounts you cannot get at the post office. Plus, you've heard of those expensive postage meters. You don't have to worry about that with Stamps.com either. Stamps.com saves you time. You get everything packaged up whenever you need to do it on your schedule. You calculate the exact postage with that scale, and you can just hand it to the postal carrier when they come the next day, or you can drop it off at the post office. Just go by the thing and just drop it in. You don't even have to get out of your car. Mm-hmm. It's really a great deal.
And right now, our listeners get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial.
Wow.
Plus free postage.
Wow.
And a digital scale without any long-term commitments.
I don't like commitments.
Yeah, you do. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in sandwich. That's Stamps.com. Enter sandwich. We love Stamps.com.
Okay.
Hey, before you do this big
heavy
thing, can we just do one funny thing real quick?
Yeah, but I'm not going to end on a heavy thing. I want to end on a light note.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
I wouldn't end on a heavy thing.
We're probably not going to end on this, but go ahead. Go ahead. No,
okay. I just don't want to,
That's fine.
All right. So it's a very sad story. This girl, she's 21 years old, and her name is Samantha Josephson. And she's a student from New Jersey who went to the University of South Carolina. She was going to be graduating. And then her father said going to law school in Philadelphia this fall. So she's just this beautiful girl, and she's out and she's having fun. She needs to get a ride, I guess, back to her dorm or her apartment, wherever she lives. And so she called an Uber, and there is video footage of her getting into the back seat of this car. She just runs in. She assumes that's her car. And that's the last anyone saw of Samantha alive. She was found in a wooded area. Now we know, officers are saying she had been stabbed to death. And she happened to get into the back of a car. She assumed it was her Uber driver. It was not. It was a man named Nathaniel Rowland. And obviously, this was his intention. he, I haven't heard them interview him or anything yet, but he obviously went with this intent in mind. They said he had child safety locks on the doors, so Samantha could not get out. And I'm sure eventually he'll tell the police what transpired. But it's just an awful, awful situation. And my heart breaks that the father and mother came down to Columbia for a candlelight vigil from New Jersey. And the father's he's just devastated. He was, speaking to the crowd. He said, Samantha was by herself. She had absolutely no chance, none. The door was locked. The child safety locks were on. She had absolutely no chance. And he warned the students there. He said, you guys have to travel together. You get into an Uber, you don't know if it's an Uber. You don't know anything about it. And I don't want anybody else to ever go through this again. I can't tell you how painful this is. Just awful. Her funeral services are scheduled, I believe, for Wednesday, and our hearts are just broken for this family. And I don't want this to happen. I take Ubers by myself, and I'm a woman. And if something was to happen to me, I mean, how do you protect yourself? Well, there are ways you can protect yourself, at least from getting into a car that's not your Uber. And this is what you need to do. I know sometimes we're a little inebriated and stuff when we're calling for a ride, but you have to have your wits about you, at least to some extent. When you call for an Uber or a Lyft, they're going to send you the car description, the license plate number, the picture, and the name of your driver. You have to make sure all of those things match. Lyft and Uber say, if somebody comes up and it's not the car and they say that's your Uber, you need to report that. Because they need that's against their rules. If you're an Uber driver, you show up in the car that they have approved for you to drive, okay? So that's a violation. You need to report that. They have a contact support button for you to do that. Another thing you can do is after it looks like she just jumped in the car. Maybe she just knew she was looking for a black car. Who knows? But she didn't maybe check the license plate. But you can also ask the driver, what person are you looking for? Because they're supposed to have your name as well. So that's a safety measure you can take, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you check that the car is the right car, the license plate matches, the driver's face matches, and he knows your name. Okay, that's the basics. They also said, I got this from a guy who writes, his name is Johnny Diaz for the South Florida Sun Sentinel. There's so many advice websites right now after this happened. He suggests do not ride shotgun. Even if you're by yourself, get in the back seat. Because you need to have at least that little, it gives you just like, not much, but it gives you a slight safety barrier.
Was the girl that was attacked, was she in the back?
She was in the back seat. He had the child safety lock.
I know, but I guess we don't know. How did she get attacked? Yeah, I guess
we don't know.
We wouldn't know that.
Yeah. But that gives you, if you're right beside the driver, there's a direct point of contact. At least if you're behind him, you've got a chance to move or something.
Tell you what,
okay?
I'm not getting in any car with a stranger. I ain't getting sitting right next to him, period.
I know a lot of people that do that.
That's for me.
I know a lot of people. Big Al does that. Big Al does that because, Big Al used to be a limo driver. He's very chatty and conversational. He's a big guy. He doesn't have a lot to worry about, right? But he rides shotgun all the time. And a lot of people feel really awkward. It's like some girls like me, I like to be chatty with my Uber driver. And I'm like, no. I've never sat up front with them. I think there should be that level of disconnect there, that I'm still your passenger. But I bet you right now that people listening is like, yeah, I ride shotgun all the time. So don't do that. Another thing, if you don't have a friend with you and you're going to be Ubering or Lyfting by yourself and you don't mind using the ride share option, you can carpool. Do that. It's not only a little bit cheaper in a lot of cases, but there's safety in numbers. Okay, so you're getting into a car with a couple of other people. What are the odds that he's going to attack all 3 or 4 of you, right? You can also share the status in an app. I didn't realize this was available until I saw this. And now some of you are thinking, oh, that's all obvious, Kelly. I do all that. There is the share status feature in the app. I'm assuming it's in both Lyft and Uber. Alan's checking right now to see.
I am not.
Oh, you're on your phone, so I didn't know. So here's the deal with that. So this, you can share your status. You can share it with the person like, hey, honey, I'm on the way home from the airport. I'm in my car sharing my status. So he can even track your vehicle. You know how on the little app you can track where the car is? They can track that and make sure, hey, they're still heading this way and not heading off to Timbuktu. That's not the way that car is supposed to be going. And you can, if you're not going home to someone, you can share it with a family member or a friend. and tell them, hey, I'm heading home. Keep track of me until I get home. I'll call you, so people can track where you are. Very helpful. And then if you suddenly realize you're in the car and something's not right, you can kind of click 911. Also, this is my big issue. Don't share too many personal details with your driver. I am chatty Kathy. I don't like those awkward silences. I like to talk. And sometimes I might be a little bit too forthcoming. Hey, Uber driver, taking me to the airport. Yeah, we're going to Mexico for a whole week. We're not going to be home for a whole week. That's letting them know our house is wide open for a whole week.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless
like we do when we check in on social media.
Right. But we have people here guarding our house for us, FYI.
Yeah, we do.
And also they say you should rate your driver, because if there's any inappropriate conduct at all, Lyft and Uber take that very seriously. So if you feel uncomfortable, if they're asking you a line of questions that makes you feel, you've got to be, if the guy just is like overly friendly, like, I felt threatened, he was too friendly, you got to really, was I really threatened in that situation? Because they do have a 0 tolerance policy right now. And if your safety is threatened and if you feel uncomfortable, he said something that was offensive, or report it. And I'm always hesitant to give a bad rating because I'm afraid it's going to affect my rating.
Mm-hmm. Those are good tips. What are you going to do?
And it's sad. It's tragic.
It's very, very sad.
We have to stop thinking it won't happen to us.
No,
nobody ever thinks it's going to happen to them.
You can't think like that. And, the first thing I think, and I think I've said this on other podcasts, not that this would have made any difference in this situation. And I'm not saying she could have done anything different. We don't know.
We don't want to blame the victim.
We don't know if she could have defended herself.
She probably tried.
If she had a way to defend herself.
Yeah.
But one thing that I'm thankful that I can do here in Texas is legally carry a concealed handgun. Mm-hmm. And I have a license to do that. And I do that. And so at least I have that peace of mind. But one thing we learned in concealed handgun training was that people walk around in 4 different states of life. And that's what I was looking for, because I couldn't remember exactly what they were. I remember how to act, but I couldn't remember what the codes are. So I thought I'd just read these real quick.
Okay.
There's 4 color codes that you can think about as you just kind of live your everyday life that you're in. The first one is white. White indicates that this is someone who's blissfully unaware of anything going on around them. They have no idea who is near them. They aren't paying attention to anything. Most people live their lives in this state. They'd rather play on their smartphones and walk around reading than pay attention to the world. Okay, that's how most people just kind of live everyday life. Not blaming the victim here at all. She probably got in this car, thought nothing about it.
She's probably done it
done it 100 times and wasn't thinking about the things that you just presented, right? Yeah. Wasn't thinking about them. The second color code is yellow. Yellow signifies someone who is alert and relaxed, but aware of everything going on around them. This is the state people should strive to be in all the time, especially like we learned in our training, especially those who carry a concealed handgun. This person's looking around, paying attention to everything, taking in all the information to feed their observe, orient, decide, and act loop and make informed decisions. This person is relaxed, but able to move into action if the need arises. That's the state, the yellow state you should always be in. Pay attention to what's going on around you. And then the other ones kind of get more into, then what do you do if you really start to have a problem? The next one's orange. To make a long story short here, somebody or something has tricked your spidey sense, has tripped it, and now you're on the alert for a specific threat. So you've noticed something that ain't cool. Maybe you get in a car and the guy's acting funny, or you hear a funny sound. That should put you into the orange state. And then red is like go time.
911.
911. It's time to protect yourself. Somebody has attacked you or threatened you. So that just kind of easily boils it down to think about how you live your everyday life. And gosh, you hate to say it, but there's evil around every corner. There really is. There are bad people everywhere. Unfortunately, for this poor young lady, she found somebody.
That's just awful. My heart's broken. And I think a lot of times as women, and I know for me as well, you don't want to hurt someone's feelings, and you don't want to make somebody feel bad because you feel frightened or scared. But I would think as a man that if you care about the safety of women, if you notice that a woman is ahead of you in a parking garage or something, and you notice she's kind of looking over her shoulder and she's kind of acting like she's afraid, I would hope as a man you'd realize, oh, I know I'm not a stalker or a killer. I'm going to back off and let this woman, and just not be offended so quickly. It's like, why is she thinking I'm going to hurt her? I'm not doing anything. We have to kind of, you know what I'm saying? As a man, you want another woman to feel safe as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
We have to not be worried about hurting everybody's feelings, because
it's
I don't want to offend that person, but they scare me a little bit.
It's sad, that people have to live their lives
scared.
I don't live it scared.
Cautious.
I don't live it scared, but I do live it keeping my eyes and ears open.
Cautious.
I don't live it oblivious, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But like the other day, it was pretty early in the morning, and I went by myself to go take a load of trash to this dumpster that I dump cardboard boxes in. And it was behind the strip mall. It's kind of this remote area, and I was out there dumping.
Where there would be no eyewitnesses?
No, I mean, if
anything happened.
And I'm always looking around, to see kind of what's in my area. I didn't see any cameras or anything either. Not that
I bet there were.
I wasn't doing anything.
Surveillance cameras everywhere.
I wasn't doing anything illegal, but I'm just,
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm always kind of making sure I know what's around me and what's going on. So I'm looking. I don't see any cameras, but I didn't think anything of it. And then this woman comes out of one of the stores. She doesn't know me from Adam, but she's kind of looking at me like,
what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? And I'm not gonna hurt anybody, but she's looking at me like, here I am. I got my shorts on and my t-shirt, and I got tattoos, and my hat's on backwards. And she probably thought, well, that's kind of a rough looking guy. She could have, but I don't blame her. I guess my point is, I don't blame her for giving me the side eye, because she should have that situational awareness. She should be on guard. She's by herself behind a strip mall. Here's a guy by himself. There's no cameras around. So yeah, you got to be careful in that situation.
Did you try to ease the tension by saying hello or something like that?
I just waved at her.
Yeah.
I just went about my business and was dumping the cardboard in the trash, and she looked at me, and I was just like, hey. And then she didn't say anything. She just went real fast to her car.
Y'all, it always makes me so nervous when Alan does that. I don't like it when he
does what?
When he goes and dumps stuff in dumpsters. I'm always afraid we're going to get in trouble.
Oh my gosh.
I'm always afraid we're going to get caught and get yelled at.
It's fine.
Yes,
as long as it says no public dumping, it's fine.
Okay, so if it's a strip mall and it doesn't say no public dumping, it's
fine.
I
know. I wouldn't say that.
See, I always think we're going to get in so much trouble when he does that.
No,
so I like it when he does it when I'm not with him.
It's fine. I don't think the police are casing the joints for people throwing cardboard away.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay.
Now let's move on to something.
This is a sandwich.
I didn't want to end on a sad
This is a sandwich and some beatdown. What else we got?
Well, we just celebrated. Some people did. I refuse to acknowledge it. April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
And a lot of people try to pull some pranks, some successfully, some not so much. Some of the ones that have made more press than others. Justin Bieber, he's getting into some trouble for what he tried to do. And he's not the only one. Pregnancy, April Fool's prank is pretty popular, but with so many women going through infertility, some people don't think that's very funny. But I think it's insensitive. But he posted a picture.
I knew they were going to take heat for that. I knew they were going to take heat for that.
Everybody that posts a fake pregnancy announcement, they just have to be aware. It's such a sensitive subject. I went through infertility. To me, it doesn't bother me, but I am not in the throes of it when you turn around and everybody's pregnant but you. I'm past that, point. So I try to still put myself in that position.
Hey.
Would I be offended if I was, going through my second or third round of in vitro and Justin Bieber pulled this prank? So he posted a picture that he got off Wikipedia of a sonogram, and then pictures of his wife in the OBGYN's office, like holding her belly. She's got pooched out. And he's like, in case you thought this was April Fool's. So everybody's congratulating. Oh, this is so exciting. And then the next thing you know, he posts another sonogram with a puppy in the middle and says it was an April Fool's joke.
I'd like to define the word fool before we go any further.
Okay.
Do you know what a fool is? Can you define fool?
I would think that someone that is, I think, an idiot.
Here's the definition of fool. A fool, a noun. A person who acts unwisely or imprudently. A silly person.
Mm-hmm.
Used in a sentence. What a fool I was to do this. Synonyms.
Idiot.
Here's the good part. Idiot. Ass. Half-wit. Nincompoop. Blockhead. Buffoon.
That's your favorite.
Yes. Dunce. Dolt. Ignoramus. cretin, imbecile, dullard, moron, simpleton, clod.
That's
Oh
plenty.
my goodness.
That's plenty. They go on forever.
Well, yeah, they do. Dope, ninny, chump, dimwit, nitwit, goon, dumbo, dummy, dum-dum, dumbbell, loon, jackass, bonehead, fathead, numbskull, dunderhead, chucklehead, knucklehead, muttonhead, puddinghead, thickhead, woodenhead, airhead, pinhead, lame brain, pea brain, bird brain, zombie, jerk, nerd, dipstick, donkey, noodle, nit, numpty, twit, clot, goat, prat, and pillow.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot. Pratt, huh?
And don't
Pratt?
Well, and don't forget schmuck, bozo, boob, lamer, turkey, schlepper, chowderhead, or dumbhead.
All right, that's a lot. So anyway, another one that got a lot of press. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, the girl Maisie, what's her name? Maisie. We don't watch that one. Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones.
God.
She was on Jimmy Kimmel last night.
Oh.
And she's, of course, promoting the final season of Game of Thrones. And she's talking about how upset she was, when it came that the character Arya dies. And then suddenly, as soon as she said it, this look of horror came over her face. And she asked Jimmy Fallon, she said, "Is this live? Oh my God, can you edit that out?" And she starts freaking out. And Jimmy said, "Yeah, it's fine. We'll edit that out. It's like it never happened." And she starts freaking out. She said that somebody in the audience might tweet it and she's going to be in so much trouble because she revealed this huge plot thing, a major character dying in the second episode. So she goes running off stage almost in tears. And Jimmy follows her out and the crowd's just sitting there and they come out and say, "April Fools." So that was a really good one. Did you see that one?
Boy, I bet they felt like a bunch of goofuses and galoots.
I thought McDonald's actually, their prank is actually a really genius idea, and I hope they follow through with it. Did you hear what McDonald's did?
They made a bunch of people feel like a bunch of thickheads and lummoxes.
They announced their new line of dipping sauces in milkshake flavors.
Ew.
What did you do in high school if you were like me and you were dealing with some weight issues? You would go buy McDonald's. You would get a large chocolate shake and large French fries. You would take the French fries and you dip them in the chocolate shake and eat them.
Gross.
You don't know. You've tried it.
That's nasty.
It is fabulous.
Gross.
So if they would come up,
I don't mix my
milkshake
sweet and salty. I never mix my
French fries.
I never mix my sweet and salty.
Genius.
Gross.
Genius.
Don't mix your sweet and salty, guys. It's gross.
Starbucks also announced April Fools. Starbucks also announced they were coming out with Pup Bucks. Did you see that one?
No.
Where they were going to cater to dogs and dog treats and things, which is actually kind of smart,
Did
right?
anybody fall for that?
People were loving the idea, wishing it would be true. But Dr. Phil, he acted like he was shaving off his mustache, and because of all the Hollywood props, man, it looked really real.
Give me some Dr. Phil.
I can't.
Share?
I'm gonna
Share. You're back again.
Share.
You're back again.
I'm gonna shave off my mustache, but it's gonna be for April Fools. That's pretty good.
Give me a quote though that he said. What does he say? You gotta stop.
That's he's like
He's got
poop on a rock and act like it's raining or something. I don't know what he says.
Poop like a rock.
Poop on a rock. I don't
Poop
know.
on a rock.
I don't know. I don't know how to say this. I don't say country sayings like that. But Alan actually fell for a couple of April Fool's pranks.
Oh, I was a big clodpole.
Why don't you share what they were?
And a moon calf. What is a moon calf?
It's a synonym for fool.
Here's the vulgar for synonym for fool.
I don't want to hear vulgar ones.
Asshat.
Okay,
so the ones I fell for, guys, I cannot believe I fell for this crap. There's a Dallas Cowboys Instagram that I follow. It's a pretty popular one. I think they have maybe 100,000 followers. I don't know. It's a pretty legit news source for Dallas Cowboys stuff.
It's not a fan run site. It's a legit Cowboy site.
It's not a Cowboy site. It's a fan run thing,
okay. But
but it's got a lot of followers. And I follow it for news and pictures and yada yada. So I'm just scrolling through my feed, and it says breaking news: DeMarcus Ware signs a 1-year contract with the Cowboys. And I took it hook, line, and sinker. I immediately text my dad, and I said, "Dad, you're never going to believe what the Cowboys just announced. DeMarcus Ware is coming out of retirement." And I believed it because Jason Witten's come out of retirement.
Yeah, Jason was gone for a year. How long is
DeMarcus Ware's been gone for like 5 or 6 years,
Wow, that's
maybe.
a long time.
I mean, he left the Cowboys, went to play for the Broncos, then retired, and then he's been doing Dancing with the Stars and all kinds of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I freaking believe that.
Did your dad believe it?
No.
Did he remind you?
I texted him and I said, Dad, you're never going to believe it. He read the text, and then I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, wait a minute. And I went back, and I go look at the comments, and it's like, April Fool's, April Fool's. And I'm like, oh, my God, what an asshat. So I go back to my dad, and I said, no, I jumped the gun there. It's April Fool's joke.
Yeah. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Or like old President Bush said that one time.
But I said it correctly.
There's no saying in Tennessee. Texas too. Fool me once. The point is I won't get fooled.
Won't get fooled again.
Yeah.
Right, but I was saying that because Alan did get fooled again.
Yeah, and so this one was from a company. The company, I'm a car nut. I like cars. I specifically like Porsches. So I follow Porsche's Instagram. This is their official Instagram, okay? Again, I'm scrolling, and this was later in the day. I'd already been fooled once. So I'm scrolling through my Instagram, and I see Porsche post something, and they have a picture of their logo. Now, their logo, it looks like a little crest or a shield. It's black and yellow and red. And in the middle of it is a little horse. That's how it's been forever, since the 50s. That's what their logos look like. They said, we're announcing a new logo. Now we're going to put a QR code in the middle of our logo so you can scan the logo and you can get all this information about your car. And man, I bought into that hook, line, and sinker.
Because it sounds like a great idea.
Well, it didn't sound like a great idea, but I thought, well, that's plausible. But I wasn't even thinking April Fool's again. I'm just like, I bought it. I'm like, oh, wow, that's kind of interesting, you know? And
it's interesting, but it's not funny.
no, it's not. But
It's not a funny.
No, it's not. But that's a serious company.
Yeah. I guess for them, they were probably chuckling back in the board.
Oh, I mean, how funny are those Germans over there, do you think?
Yeah, the big boss came up with that.
Yeah.
Everybody had to go, oh,
exactly.
Prank ever.
Exactly. So, yeah, so I got fooled by
many people are going to fall for it because it's not really even funny.
Right. It wasn't funny.
But it is not true either.
But I bought it.
You did, honey. But I don't think you're
a dimwit?
A numbskull.
What about a moron? What about a meatball?
Ooh.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I'll be cuddling up next to that meatball tonight in my Brooklinen sheets.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, I will. Brooklinen. You know, we spend about a third of our life in bed if we're lucky. Some of us don't get to bed when we're supposed to, but if you do, you need to make that your safe haven, the place where you find the most comfort. And a lot of it comes down to the bedding that you choose to sleep on. You want to wrap yourself in luxury without paying the luxury price. You need to get in touch with Brooklinen, brooklinen.com, the best of online bedding, named by Good Housekeeping. You can go online and read over 35,000 five-star reviews for Brooklinen sheets, more than any other online bedding company. Our listeners have reached out to us after using our code to order their set of Brooklinen sheets, and they say, you're right, these really are the best sheets I've ever slept on. They have direct to the customer without that middleman, so you take out the overhead, because sometimes you go to the department stores, they'll mark them up by as much as 300%. You can also mix and match the colors, the patterns. You can make it custom to what you like. It's really cool, and they have some design ideas if you want to go check them out at brooklinen.com.
And they really are the best, most comfortable sheets we've ever slept on. I love our Brooklinen sheets. Now's the time for you to upgrade. To do that, go to brooklinen.com. You'll get an exclusive offer just for our listeners. You get 10% off your first order and free shipping when you use the promo code, Kellie, at brooklinen.com. Yes, Brooklinen is so confident in their product that all their sheets, comforters, and towels come with a lifetime warranty.
That's important.
Not a 1 year, not a 2 year, lifetime.
They're that confident.
Yes. The only way to get 10% off your first order and free shipping is to use promo code Kellie, Kellie, at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com, promo code Kellie.
Brooklinen really are the best sheets ever. Thank you, Brooklinen.
Ever.
And thank you for doing the podcast with me, honey.
Ever.
Did you want to wrap up with anything else positive and uplifting for our podcast audience?
Ever. Yeah, just two little bits of business. I had an eating rule. Remember, one of my eating rules was I can't eat anything. I won't eat anything that I can't spell.
Yes.
Well, then I got to thinking about it. We made shish kebab the other night. How do you spell shish kebab?
I don't know that I've ever had to spell it, but let me guess. SHISH. Here's the quandary. I'm going to go with ABOB.
That's how I think it's spelled, but what's the hyphen sitch?
Oh, shish hyphen k hyphen bob.
I don't know if that's correct. I'll take it.
Well, you don't ask a question you don't have the answer to.
I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
And you can't now. I've got to Google it.
We'll Google it.
You're supposed to have the answer so you can tell me if I'm right or not.
No, but part of the reason I brought this up is because I posted it's shish, SHISH.
There is no hyphen.
No hyphen, and then kebab.
And I spelled it wrong.
KABOB. What did you say?
It is KE. It's SHISH. I got that right. KEBAB. I got two letters wrong. Shish and then kebab.
Kebab. Okay, well, anyway, just real quick. I posted a video on my Instagram of me grilling these shish kebabs. I might have gotten more comments back about the shish kebabs than I did about Larry scooting his butt on the floor.
By the way, everyone that was concerned, his anal glands have been expressed.
They have been expressed.
Yes.
He's
fine. Absolutely.
Yeah,
fine.
he's doing great.
Healthy.
Yeah.
Smells good.
Yeah. But a lot of people said, well, hey, dummy, why don't you just put, because I was saying,
hey, nincompoop.
Yeah. Hey, doofus. Hey, blockhead.
Hey, buffoon.
Right.
Meatball.
Whoa.
I'm just trying to remember.
Whoa. You can't use that one.
Ass hat.
You can use ass hat. This is basically how Kelly addresses me all the time. See how agreeable I was to answering right to her when she called me those things. So I put all the meat and vegetables on a skewer. Yes. I grilled them.
I was happy to have you do it. That meant I didn't have to do
it. And then I was concerned that it would take long for the chicken to get done, so I would burn the vegetables. So I was telling all the viewers of these videos, you got to make sure the fire is such that you don't do that. So I got a lot of comments back. Well, hey, dummy, why don't you just put all the vegetables on one skewer, all the chicken on one skewer, and then all the shrimps on one skewer? And I'm like, well, yeah, I get that, but then it's not shish kebab. Why don't you just grill vegetables, shrimp, and chicken? Isn't shish kebab where you put all the stuff on one skewer?
I don't know necessarily if that's true.
Show me a picture.
I don't know.
Show me a picture of these where there's not meat and vegetables together.
It says, here's the definition that I just pulled
Let's hear it.
Shish kebab is a popular meal of skewered and grilled cubes of meat.
Okay.
It is similar to or synonymous with a dish called shashlik, which is found in the Caucasus region.
See, this is why I don't eat it. I can't spell this stuff.
It is one of the many types of kebab, a range of meat dishes originating in the Middle East. So apparently we have taken shish kebab.
We've culturally appropriated shish kebab?
With slices of onion and bell pepper.
Well, hey, my recipe was invented in Wichita Falls, Texas. That's all I know.
Yeah, I don't know, honey.
Okay. Well, that's shish kebab talk.
But I'm just excited now to know how to spell it. I really was. There's no hyphen involved.
Oh, and as I travel around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex doing things and visiting mostly Starbucks and visiting other places, I run into a lot of a Sandwiches in Lovin Nation.
Yeah, that's fun.
I really do.
People are so nice.
And when they see me, it's pretty cool. They say, hey, I listen to the podcast. I love it. I always tell them that's awesome. Thank you so much. So shout out to Jennifer, who I ran into at a Nordstrom rack. And shout out to Nikki, who was a Starbucks barista in Allen.
Oh.
And I met another Starbucks barista today who was a listener, and she was in Plano, but I cannot remember her name.
Oh, darn it.
So thank you for your support, Sandwiches in Lovin Nation. We love you desperately.
That's very nice. We really, I still get messages from people that say, we saw you at such and such, and I didn't want to say anything. Please say something. We really don't mind at all. I prefer you say something. It makes us feel good, that you actually listen. We'd like to think that people are listening to the podcast. It's a compliment when you tell us you listen. We'd love to say hello. It's fine.
My wife can call me airhead, pinhead, lame brain, or pea brain. If I see you in public, though, I'd prefer Alan or hello, I'm Alan or A Train or hey, if you want to be formal, Mr. Evans is fine too. Yeah, but Kellie's the only one that calls me like nerd, twerp,
I don't
and
call him names.
buffoon and schlepper and
I
chowderhead
don't call him names.
and meatball.
In his face. Behind his back is another word. Yeah.
Isn't that what every wife does? Calls
behind your back, man. I'm flipping you off. I'm cussing you out.
That is not true. You don't do that. You give me love because you're still in love.
I am. Very much in love.
Well, I'm in love too.
I love doing the podcast with you, and thank you all for listening and putting up with us.
That's right. All right, babe.
Go out there and be safe.
Yeah, get out there and be safe.
Want all of you back with us next time we're here for another Sandwiches and Lovin' podcast.
Stay in that orange color. Situational awareness, right? Or yellow, sorry. Stay in that yellow color. All right, babe. In the immortal words of the great Keanu Reeves, life is good when you have it in sandwich. Bye.
All right. There's 46 left. Remember when we used to do on Facebook, we'd have like 1,000 people that would.
Facebook inflates those numbers big time.
No, they would all be watching it live while we were recording it. Remember, we'd wait till we got to 1,000 and stop. Now the actual reach was probably not correct, but we'd have 1,000 people watching with us. I don't know. The Caucasian, it wasn't the Caucasian region. It was spelled Caucasus. Caucasus.
You know what? Bossman George.
I've never heard of that.
Bossman George made it very clear today. He is not a big fan of this video.
I know. We did not talk about the M Sculpt today, Lena, because we're going to be doing.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. The reason we're out of order. This podcast we just recorded, you'll hear on Thursday. Tomorrow night, we're recording another podcast that you will hear on Friday. So we're a little out of order, but we'll talk about the M Sculpt experience tomorrow when we record the podcast, but you can hear about it Friday if you can't join us tomorrow night. Thank you, Justin Walker. Did you tell him about?
Yeah.
He knows?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't tell anybody else or just leave it?
I was telling him before you walked in.
Okay. We're going to be celebrating my birthday next weekend.
Thank you, Karen.
In Fort Worth.
Appreciate it.
I thought Alan was going to pick up there. We're going to go to Fort Worth. And what was it? There's a new, have you already booked the hotel?
Yep.
Okay. Somebody just told me, and I don't know where we're staying because it's going to be a surprise. But
it's not a big surprise.
Well, that the Omni down there is new.
That's where we're staying.
We are?
I've been in that Omni. We had a meeting there one time.
Oh, I thought we were staying in Worthington.
Yep.
There you go.
Same price.
Good. I didn't know that's where we're staying.
Reviews.
So anyway, we're going to be doing, I don't think Alan and I have been to Fort Worth together. Have we? Have we done Fort Worth together? Anyway, it's not really an important birthday. So I didn't want to do a party. Oh, shoot. I got to write Kinsey back. She was asking about if I had any party plans. So I'm not really doing a party this year because it's not a monumental birthday. So a few years ago, Al, when he used to throw me my birthday parties at his bar, which, trust me, it had nothing to do with me. It was all about bar promotion. I told him he should have quit then because it was the best one when he had Vanilla Ice come and the police came. It was just a ball. We had a great time. Anyway, Vanilla Ice on my actual birthday is performing at Billy Bob's. And so we're going to go to that and do a staycation in Fort Worth and just be tourists in the town next door, the city next door. That's what we're doing.
Well, Al looked good today.
Thank you.
That dude's getting skinny.
Al, yeah, he's losing.
My man.
Bossman George is doing Red Mountain with us. He's lost about, 17?
Hey, man.
In like 2 weeks. His belly's just gone.
Hey, man, do you have any idea what's in this seaweed salad? Yeah, George, I think, it's sweet. So I think there's some sugar. Oh, man, I can't believe you didn't tell me this. I'm not going to eat it now. Come on, George. I'm going to kill you. No, I'm not going to eat it anymore.
Well, you don't need to discourage him. He's still in phase 1. You need to encourage him. When somebody's trying to diet, don't be a bad influence.
It wasn't. He asked me.
It's not going to kill you.
He asked me what I thought was in it, and then I told him.
Anyway. Glad you found the Coke, Alan. Karen's birthday is Sunday. Happy birthday, Karen. Justin's driving down Thursday, checking in Friday. Y'all are not recording on a typical night. That could be a reason for low attendance. Yeah, probably. So anyway, thank you all for hanging out with us. And we will be recording tomorrow night, but not at the regular time. We're recording tomorrow. Have we decided if we're doing it on YouTube or no?
Oh, we probably will.
Probably will.
Yeah.
It'll probably be more around like 5:30.
Yeah.
Central Time.
Yeah, it'll be earlier tomorrow.
Okay.
And we may have some, we will. We're going to have some other people in there with us.
Yeah, we'll have guests.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, Alan's going to be on social media and I'm going to go to bed. Are you done? Are you going to stay online? Did you just burp Coke?
I did. It depends on what everyone else wants to do. Oh, I do a little burp and
It smells.
And you think that smells? How about two sweaty people in a little room for an hour?
I'm not sweaty.
Think that
I wasn't after I turned on the air.
Think that has anything to do with it?
I'm not sweating. I just got hot and took off my jacket and turned on the air.
I saw you over there leaning over.
I was not doing that.
All right. All right, guys. Well, another one in the books. Another one in the books. Yeah, Julie, Bossman George, he just got a Tesla. Hey man, come check this thing out. I mean, this is freaking amazing. Here, get in this thing. And he shows me all these little sounds and stuff it can play. It's got this big screen on it. I mean, can you believe this thing? Look at the technology in this thing. Yeah. I mean, this thing is designed for millennials, but I really enjoy it. It's a great car. I mean, I know it was $80,000, but amen. But I'm going to save money on gas. That argument always gets me. When someone says they bought a car and they're going to save money. They're going to save money. Forget the fact that you spent 80 grand on the car. You're gonna save $50 a week on gas. Our friend Amy, her husband Russ, he has a Tesla too. He just got one not long ago. I think his is red. I think George's is. Color's George's Tesla? Gray? It's either gray or white. I think it's gray. No, it's gray. I saw it today. It's gray. 1919. Yeah, my date's all screwed up. I'll fix it. Yeah, typo. I'm such a dimwit. All right, guys. Hello, Lena. I will talk to you guys very soon. Here, I need to sign off with a good emoji. Let's see what we got here. How about... See you, Justin. How about... Hey, we'll do this one since we're about to go to sleep. Thank you, Karen. Here, count those. Count those and then go to sleep. And that one. Night.